Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Minecraft Musings. Sorry, it was a short stand-up, so that's good. Nothing too big, but I wanted to kind of smooth over that video that I just put up, the very last one before this one. And of course, most of you watching these a lot of that information isn't even relevant. You'll be like, oh, well, it was just the next one in the queue. So I do sound a little begrudging against President Biden for that exact reason, Hunter Biden. Like, as soon as that video came out, he should have addressed the people and been like, you know what? The war on drugs isn't what we thought it was. We need to fix it. We need to, and people are doing it anyway. They are choosing therapy over incarceration, and people are starting to realize that it's not just putting someone in jail for using a drug. It's putting someone's parents in jail for using a drug, or putting someone's cousin or brother or sister or nephew or someone's family member in jail for using something that only hurts them. I mean, it might hurt the family emotionally, but what hurts worse? The fact that they got put in jail or the fact that they partied for a night and then they're done? Like, or a week. They went on a bender or something. And then they found God, they found people, friends, support, whatever, or an AA meeting or an NA meeting, or, they found these things and they fix it. Because almost everybody fixes it on their own if they're given the tools and the ability to do so. If they're given a better life or shown a better thing to be doing with their time, or, sports or education or anything, or friendship or camaraderie. I mean, the actual addiction is so fleeting and so temporary in everybody's lives. And I've seen that because, well, a lot of my family work with corrections, and they've seen it. It's usually an age out thing, too. Same with gangbanging. Like, people like to join gangs and feel like they've got some protection or like they've got an edge to help them, get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something, or, have access to substances, money, or power, or whatever. It's a shortcut. And then but almost all kids do some form of that, something. They join some club or they do something where they're unique and they try to find an identity to rally behind. And then by the time the prefrontal cortex finishes developing at age 30 or so, well, 25 to 30, then boom, it's a non-issue. It's no longer an issue. And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to understand, that this whole war on drugs, it's causing mountains out of molehills. And it is as silly as you could be having a perfect interaction with the police officer, and then they find a little baggie of drugs, and like, oh, okay, the whole night has changed. Now you're going to jail. You're going to sit and lock up. This drug is going to go into evidence, and if it's what we think it is, you're facing years of your life, all because you had a little baggie of something on you. Okay, now it's insane. It's like you're carrying the gun that's going to assassinate one of the world leaders and launch us into a world war. No. You have a little baggie that's probably going to be disappeared in like an hour, and they're going to wake up the next day and be like, oh, that was fun. All right, let's go do something else. Or if you actually trace back and see, like even presidents, Bush Jr., there's a heavy amount of evidence that he did cocaine in college. Okay, and how many of these presidents have done? It's not just President Clinton, how he's like, I did not inhale when he was talking about smoking weed in college. Like, okay, what about the presidents that did like coke and crack and like, like off of a hooker or something, and then like, and actually that's not very good terminology. Like a lady who uses her feminine wiles to get some money, which should totally be illegal. What a person does with their body, bodily autonomy, I don't get it. Like that's illegal, yet you can kick somebody out of their house to make an Airbnb, and then if they don't have the right resources, that could totally fly. Like, or if you don't have the money for a lawyer, then you could be sitting in jail for quite a long time. Well, sorry, get good. You should have had money. Like, that's what we're teaching people. That's what we're teaching the next generation, and that's why so many people are just fed up with it. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, no, we're not standing for it anymore. Especially this blatant, like, it is. It's a war. It's a war on the American people for trying to be happy in a world that's not so perfect. And you've got wealthy people, like, doing whatever, yayas and all that, and, like, for what? We've got people rotting in jail, and their kids are going to have a harder time, and their families and all this. So, yeah. Sorry, I just felt like I didn't really eloquently put that on the last video. I'm going to make this one short, too, because, I mean, it's only going to be how long that meeting should have been, which we ended up early because they had some other things going on after. That's fine. I love this company. It's very dynamic, and as long as the work gets done, which it is, it's a lot of it getting done. So, also, where are we at? Let's go ahead and I need to start getting. So I built this little contraption so I can start getting bone meal. But in order to do that, I really need a bigger farm. So, because we need bone meal for the white dye to change the green dye that we get from the cacti into lime green dye. And then we use the lime green dye to dye the glass. And then we have the panes of glass. I just like it better than the green. The green's a little too muted. That lime green looks good. That's going to be all the way up too. That's cool. It's going to be just a floating wizard spire. And every now and then, we have a part that like pokes out and makes another little like temple there. That's like the entryway. I love the parkour to get to it too. It's annoying when I want to get there, but it's kind of fun. Like you have to do like a trial just to even prove that you're worthy to go stand in the temple. Just jumping over 3 dots. So I don't know, and we're working on that. Like the more that we destigmatize substance use and substance abuse and understand the relation between hard alcohol or even just alcohol and everything else. Like we're protecting against all these other things when in reality if weed was just legal worldwide, the majority of people would give up alcohol and be like, you know what? Alcohol's not that fun. We can just smoke bud. We can go to concerts and laugh and giggle and enjoy music and lights and all that and without having to fear a jail cell. I don't know. Fortunately, the whole jail thing from just weed hasn't been a thing for a while. Like, I mean, I know a lot of cops and they would almost unanimously rather deal with somebody who's using cannabis than somebody who's using alcohol. They're a lot more predictable, a lot less dangerous, a lot less volatile, and a lot less angry. Or somebody that has hard drugs on them, well, that could be a potentially life or death situation because you're talking about putting them in prison for, I don't know, years, if not decades, and not just you. I mean, like, that's why it's so dangerous for law enforcement because they're the ones doing this thing saying like, oh hey, now we need to take you to jail and you're going to be charged for this, which is a big time felony and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it does make like a slightly bad situation into a horribly catastrophic situation, and that's why it ends up being so dangerous. So, like one of my favorite memes is um, Bill Murray said the most dangerous thing about pot is getting caught with it. And it's insane. It's like, oh, you were just gonna giggle and be peaceful and talk about stupid things, maybe make a cartoon or maybe make something fun for humanity. Oh, well, now we're gonna put you in jail with all these other people that don't want to be there and they can't leave. And it smells, the food's terrible, and then oh, but you can do less time if you clean up the place and if you do free work and free labor, like we'll let you out a little early and like it's like, and where did we go wrong with that? Like, if a kid gets in trouble, acts up as a kid, do you put him in timeout for a week? No. You put him in timeout until the message sticks, and then you let him go, and then you have a talk about it, and you understand why I don't want this to happen. That's why, like, and my kids, they're not perfect, but my gosh, they are so well behaved because that's what I do. I sit them down and I explain, like, hey, this kind of made me upset, and this is why, and you can't get away with this in the real world, so I got to teach you a lesson. Well, let's just talk about it and make sure if it happens again, after we have this nice heartfelt talk, then yeah, there's going to be some consequences, but I'm going to give you a pass this time. And then guess what? Almost always that works. Almost always. I mean, we all have our bad days, and a lot of times it's just because they didn't have enough to eat. That hangry is a real thing. Now, think about it the other way. If one of your parents is in prison, the other one's working like crazy, and you don't get good nutrition, guess what? You're going to have a bad time, and you're more susceptible to breaking rules, breaking laws, and possibly getting in trouble, all because you're hangry or because you're lonely or you miss your parents. Like, oh, I wish I could know. Oh, but they're there. They're just over there in the prison, sitting in a cell. It's just, it's insane. I'd like to see like all of these like politicians and movie stars and all that. Like, if what we need to do, and this will fix it really quick, is just remove money from the criminal justice system. Like, stop using money as a punishment. And then, because I don't think Trump's seen the inside of a jail cell once. He hasn't seen military service because he had bone spurs, so he dodged the draft. Where a bunch of my uncles and my dad was drafted. My dad served. He wasn't happy about it, but there he was, in the military. So, because he was poor. If he had a lot of money, he could have probably got a bone spurs thing. Like, oh yeah, no, he doesn't need to go to war and possibly die. Like, play that Russian roulette. Like, oh, but Mr. Trump has money. Yeah, oh no, we need to take care of him. He's an American treasure. He doesn't need to go be a sucker and loser for the military. Like, and it's these things. Like, these people don't realize, like, uh, when a large chunk of his voter base is military type people, and they need somebody to advocate for their rights and stuff. Like, you're putting your life on the line, possibly going to go get blown up for American policy, all for somebody who pushes a pencil back at their comfy desk in Congress. They're like, let's go ahead and let's keep this war going for a little bit. This is good money for us. It's great for the economy. Like, what? It's insanity. It's like high treason. Like, oh. Also, we need some dirt. So we got about like 5 minutes, and then I gotta head on into the office. It's gonna be a good day, though. I do enjoy these days that I go to the office, because my gym is actually really close to the office. So I get to go work out, and go get off some pent-up aggression, and let off some steam. Uh, Alright. Gosh, this music is so nice. It's like peaceful meditation. Yeah, I say that, and I have a cousin who got in trouble for mushrooms, and she just happened to have them in her possession. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, whatever the reason may be, and she ended up getting in so much trouble when she lost her dad to cancer, and she was trying to cope, and mushrooms made her happy. Like, she probably didn't even do them all that much, but now they're being proven to help with PTSD, depression, addiction, all these things, and Colorado legalized them, and all this and that. And yet, no apologies, as far as I know, to my cousin. Like, I'm nope, sorry. We didn't realize that this was actually like your lifeline to function in society with a dead dad. Like, oh, no, we're gonna put you in jail, make you cry, make you, go through this horrible time. Yeah, no, it's horrible. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's why the scientists need to fix the wizards. And I include witches in there too, but I feel like witches more of like an unpleasant. Like, wizards are non-gender specific. Men, women, and everyone in between. Like, he-men, women, and everyone in between. Still trying to get that to fly. Like, if we start calling males he-men and women, that way there's a distinction from man. And man should mean human, always. Every last time. And that's why we have this accidental patriarchy, is because we just didn't put in the effort, or didn't see the need to put in the effort to distinguish. Oh no, no, all people are humans, all people are man. And that would go far. Alright, it's getting nigh on that time. Maybe I could splice these two episodes together. Well, now it's kind of like too long for one episode. So we had a couple of little mini episodes. My rant before work on how I'm displeased with the war on drugs and how people handle substance use and substance abuse. Because, I mean, my gosh. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. The pharmacy that was the White House during the Trump administration, that's one of the new pieces of controversy now, is they had so much Ambien and stimulants and opiates and all of these things prescribed that if you were to get caught with them on the street, you'd be sitting in a prison cell for pharmaceuticals, but they were allowed to just pop these pills freely. Yet, poor people out there just trying to, oh man, my life isn't that great. Ooh, I can just take this pill and it'll make it really great for a few hours, and I'll forget all these horrible, crippling troubles and, pain, death, suffering that's going on in the world. Rich people don't have to worry about it because they're all sitting up. Yeah, no, and that's the world too, the world stage. People are looking at America, and even the poorest American still has it better than like the average person in India, or or even a lot of the countries in Central and South America where people are just starving and like their life is just horrible, or it's, and we wonder why they emigrate here. Oh, and then the Trump era sanctions. I was reading an article about how a lot of this immigration, Venezuela specifically, was hurt by a lot of these sanctions from the Trump administration. And now he's like, oh, why are all these people trying to come here? It's like, well, you destroyed you dealt a heavy blow to their quality of life, so they feel like you kind of owe it to them to let them come and stay here and live here for a little bit. Like, you ruined my country, I'm going to come to your country, I mean, type thing. And so, and people don't realize that. NAFTA too. Like, we tried to do NAFTA. I think that was a Clinton administration move, and that ended up doing a lot more harm than good for Central and South America. Just destroyed their economy, and and left them high and dry. And it's like, oh, we were supposed to have all these nice things and fancy things and all this. No, just kidding. Never mind. We changed our mind. We're gonna go back on this, and oh, but don't you dare come here. No, you're gonna have to stay there in your poverty hole, like, and it's insane. Now, I'm not gonna start, and one of the biggest things I hate is like when people say, "Well, why don't you let him come live with you?" Well, no, because my house is a poverty hole too. Because guess what? The wealthy keep staying wealthy and getting wealthier, and and you keep bootlicking and protecting these people, giving them tax breaks, and then meaning that we still have to pay taxes when they're like, "Oh, it's okay. You've got lawyers telling you how to game the system." Like, that's totally fine. And then what drives me nuts is one of my colleagues, like, he was raised Republican, actually quite a few, but like this one particular said, let them pay for it. They can pay for it if they want it. And it's like, oh, but do the rich people actually pay for a lot of these things? No. Like, and do they get into a lot of trouble that we would see? Like, are they uncomfortable because they're struggling to make ends meet? Or are they just waking up in a ho-hum, oh, I'm sad because I'm bored? Like, meanwhile, there's people out there that their parents are in prison or dead or like, and they've got to do all this stuff, work extra hard and write these essays and try to get scholarships and all because they're brown or Jewish or like something different other than or other than white male and Christian. Like, all of that just on a bunch of whiny people, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's insanity. We're gonna fix it though. We are fixing it, bit by bit. Oh, I'm not picking up those. There we go. I think the other one glitched out. No, that's okay. I should probably head to work now. But thanks for letting me vent and gripe a little bit. But and I just had to chuckle and share that I said something so bold on the DEA's post. Been like, here's what the war on drugs is doing, murdering American citizens. Oh, but you want to talk about something light and fun today. And every other comment on there was like reschedule marijuana. Like, why? What's with the rescheduling? Why is it still taking so long? Why this? Why that? And it's like, oh. And then I just posted an article. Here's how many people died in police custody, mostly for nonviolent crimes. And I put crimes in quotation marks. Your whole department is a sham and needs to be dismantled. Like, it does. The Drug Enforcement Administration is insane. It could be a single office department just to make sure that pharmaceutical companies aren't price gouging and ripping people off. Like, that's what it should be. Not like some person over there trying to party or whatever and like they can't afford, and alcohol is expensive. If you drink it like legitimately like in a nice bar or a lounge and you're enjoying a cocktail with some food, easily run up a couple $100. Ain't nobody got time or money for that. Like, it's like the average people, the way that they try to like have fun and party like on a budget. So, anyways, and I'm just against drinking altogether. I feel like it's a waste of everything, but that's the best that a lot of people got. So, and then yeah, and Hunter, he's just such an easy target because it's like you got him on video with crack and hookers, and we're over there harassing some hippie for smoking weed. Like, but he doesn't have money, so let's get him in jail. Let's put him in detox. Let's put him in classes, and then have him explain how he's the problem. Like, what? So, anyways, ta-ta for now, everybody. Hope you have a great day. And look at you. I'm going to leave you alone because you're not attacking my birds. Have fun, Ocelot. All right, ta-ta for now. I will see you all in the next one.